things get boring or repetitive to go, hey, look over there, when boring and repetitive is actually what takes you to true success.
This is Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. We are the #1 business show on the planet with over 1 million downloads a month. Taking the BS out of business for over 6 years and over 400 episodes. You ready to start snapping necks and cashing checks? Well, it starts right about now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Right About Now. We're always talking about what matters now. We can talk about last week. We can talk about last year. We can talk about 3 years from now. We're not here to tell the future. We're here to advance your now. That's why we've got Danny Lynn Robinson. She is the founder of Freedom Family Investments. I will get that out. Lots of it. FFI. That's what I'm going to call it. Freedom Family Investments. The co-founder, Danny Lynn Robinson. What's up, Danny?
Hey, Ryan. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Ready to talk some investments, some vertical integration. All the terms that us marketing nerds and like business nerds love. But what I'm excited about is I could feel the energy before we got started. I think we're going to have fun. We're going to break it down. We're going to teach some people the do's and don'ts in a lot of different angles. And hey, maybe some investment advice.
Sounds great. I'm all for it.
Danny, we're in Florida, right?
Yes, we are. Just southwest of Orlando.
There we go. Yeah. Real estate's been interesting. I mean, to talk a little bit of the headlines, it's like I often wonder, and I know you're on a different side of it with investments versus, single family homes and stuff. But interest rates just kind of hanging on, forever here to hire, any forecaster. You're in the business. I mean, you guys, even if it's on the investment side, surely you hear banking rumors and tell what's the word on the street with interest rates and everything else as it relates to real estate.
Yeah, so I surround myself with experts, and we have a mortgage broker that they work with, Marcus and Millichap, and they sold their company, and they are really big and they stay on the top of this stuff for us. We're actually refinancing a couple properties right now. Man, Bridge loans coming due, that's tough stuff for a lot of people right now. So I would say right now is the time to refinance if you're looking to do it, because we're getting some really good deals from the banks that we're talking to.
That's good. Hey, positive news is,
yes.
But I guess if you're doing it now, there's not definitive hope that rates are coming down in the rest of this year.
Yeah, we just don't like to. Well, part of it is the bridge loan. So if you're watching real estate and you know what's going on, a lot of these bridge loans are coming due. We're in that boat. So in the next 2 months, we've got 2 coming due. So it is a time where you need to do what you have to do. But I would still choose to refinance right now as opposed to in a couple months, just based on what I'm hearing from our mortgage team.
Yep, makes sense. Danny, let's set the table for everyone. How the hell did you get into real estate and investing? And, tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. My husband and I started off as musicians playing trumpet. We both went to college in Florida. We both worked at Disney. We both worked on cruise ships. That's where we met. It was this crazy story of fate. But then ultimately, musicians don't get paid very well. So we decided, let's go into the art auction business, because I was working for them and I saw their check and I was like, bam. And it's like the entrepreneurial spirit was like ignited. So we started in the art auction business, and eventually I said, I want to do something else. I'm tired of traveling. Chose 3 industries, tried them all: insurance, mergers and acquisitions. As soon as I hit real estate, it was done. I just fell in love. It took 8 months to get there to fall in love, but we got there.
Hey, it's so funny. It's interesting hearing you kind of talk about that journey a little bit in the process of, I don't call it the process of elimination, process of finding passion. There's a lot of debate sometimes. Hey, follow your passion. And you know what I say to that? I say, yeah, I believe in that. I believe you should be happy and fulfilled in what you do. And that's why I loved a little bit of background, and we're going to talk about that. But I also believe this, Danny, you sure do love what you get good at. And so we can talk about, I love cars and I love this. Well, I chased that down and lost $1 million in the car business, because I wasn't any good at it. Right. But I've always been a good marketer and salesperson. So it's like, okay. somehow I got real passionate when I got really good at something. Is it chicken or the egg? Is it passion or what you're talented in?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, exactly. So you must be passionate and good at what you do.
Yeah, truly. Like, we hired a mentor. I really believe in like surrounding yourself with the best. And we hired a mentor. They taught us 12 ways to buy and sell real estate. And they were like, you guys are killing it. And all we did was just simply did what they told us to do. And ironically, that's rare.
It's, Danny, you could, it seems simple, but it's profound. It's like, I do hear people all the time, because I'll tell people, because they'll ask, okay, well, how did you, grow your podcast, or how, something that, we all have our strengths. And so people will ask you, like, how did you do that? And it's like, I just followed the formula and consistency and showing up and like doing it. It's like, yeah, you got to get, you learn and you get wisdom to make things better. But it's amazing how few people are just willing to sort of put one foot in front of the other every single day.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely right. We actually tested out being coaches with that same mentor, because he was like, I want to take you and travel with you. And you just tell them you did exactly what I told you to do and you were successful. So we did. And we started a coaching program. And that's where I found lack of fulfillment, because truly people are handing over $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 and then not doing what you tell them to do to be successful. And I thought, well, that's interesting.
Why is that? Like, what is that roadblock? Is it self-sabotage? Is it, I'm going to call spade a spade. You're going to learn that, Dan. That's me. Is it laziness? Is it self-sabotage? Is it, what is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really think it's probably different for every single person. We all have our limiting beliefs. We all have our traumas. We all have our blockers. And I think every person is probably a little bit different. But I think, and you can tell me if you agree or not, I'd be interested in your opinion. I think more than anything, it's lack of belief in their ability to succeed and or their fear of actually succeeding.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like, I always thought it's fear of failure, but fear of actually succeeding. That one always gets me. I hear people say that, and I'm like, why would you be scared to make the damn thing happen? Why is that? Like, isn't that what we want?
Yes. I think it turns into the what happens now, right?
Yeah, like duplicating it, repeating it, or is it the responsibility that comes with it?
Could be.
Sometimes. I'm not trying to ladder all roads back to, I don't know. It took me a long time, and I don't know about you, Danny, like in your journey. Like, it's not that I thought people were the same. Like, we all have our differences, clearly.
Sure.
And there's definitely different attributes. But there is a level of drive and initiative and want that I just always assumed everyone else had. Like, I think even though I was almost 30 years old, I'm well past that now, but I thought that was sort of universal. We all had different traits, okay? Different looks, different things. But I've learned that's not always the case. Or there's just different motivations, and I don't know, especially as you've learned and needed to hire people and do different things. Talk to me about how you've seen that.
Yeah, so I'm going to relate it to actually building the companies. And one of my probably epic failures was thinking that everybody was like me. Like, they all have this drive. They're always going to do exactly what they say they're going to do. They're going to never give up. They're going to push because they want to win and they refuse to lose. And I didn't care about hiring the Ferrari who had proven success, because I thought I can meet anybody and just say, hey, I'm going to take you with me. Let's go. And we're going to drive together. And ultimately, I learned really fast. And I learned this lesson over and over and over again, that people aren't like me. And they really just want to follow directions. And you have to go find that elite, maybe top 3 to 1%, to be able to lead the companies so that you're not stuck leading all of them with a bunch of followers.
Yeah, that's true. Well spoken and well learned. And you and I would have worked well together back in the day, because we both have that gene. Obviously, you followed the steps and the 12 things, but now that you've done it long enough, what is it that it takes other than, following the steps? Is there intuition, wisdom beyond that?
Here's what I've learned. A lot of people understand that there's power and wealth behind real estate investing, but it's not what they're passionate about and it's not what they're going to do full time. So they think they can become an active investor because that's the door that most people enter in. I want to be a landlord. I'm going to buy and hold, or I'm going to fix and flip this property and make $40,000. And they lose a lot of money. They lose a lot of time and they're not doing what they love. And so ultimately what I've learned is active investors get miserable, lose a lot of money, and ultimately turn into passive investors. And that's where they find joy because they get to pursue what they wanted to do anyway. And then they get to invest their money with other people who love doing the active side of real estate, are really good at it, and they just get the passive income and they get to build their wealth. And that was really interesting and surprising to me how many people I've talked to that have lost money. And it's sad, and I'm out to try and help fix it.
I hope you can, because I've heard a lot of people that have done that same thing. But it's really interesting. I want to get underneath what you just said. And I've been guilty of this myself, where you think if you just take it all on, that extra 20%, 30%, whatever it might be, you think, okay, I can handle all of this part of it and I'm going to get full bore into it. And then you realize either passion, expertise, whatever it might be, it doesn't get as far as it would have if you had just taken the passive 10% or whatever, let's get underneath that a little bit. I think that's kind of what you're defining.
Yes, 100%. And that realization came from actually getting on the phone with real estate investors. So we only started having other investors invest with us in 2015 to 2017, we started. And so we would talk to private money lenders, and the stories that I would hear on the phone was them lending money to other people, or them trying to do a flip themselves, or any type of real estate experience where they said, I just don't know what I don't know, and I lost money. So I called you because you said X, and that X was, here's how many deals that we've done. Here's our track record. Yes, we're human and we lose money, but I make sure my investors never lose a dime. I will lose it myself. And that's the success I've found in business, is earning the trust and doing what you say you're going to do and making sure that people are taken care of.
Doing what you say you will do.
Pretty rare.
It's more rare than I want it to be. And I hold myself accountable to that one. Look, we all fall short at times. None of us are perfect, but that's a big one for me. And I try to practice what I preach, but man, if you say you're going to do it, do it.
That's right.
Or at least follow up and, extend the timeline, whatever it is. It's not always because life doesn't happen or shit gets in the way.
That's right.
But dang, just communicate.
Yes.
Yeah. Send me a text, bro.
Yes. We've actually been lenders to other people. And I've just said that. I said, I like you. This is one of your first deals. I need to make sure that you're actually just going to communicate, because shit's going to happen. Things are going to go wrong, and that's okay. Just let me know. And still, it doesn't happen. It's like a head in the sand moment, that fear of failure, perhaps. But that was something that we always just stood by and said, hey, Ryan, thanks so much for investing with me. Your term is up. We're about 3 months away from when I owe you money. Here's what's going on with the property. And would you like to extend, or would you like me to pay you back? Because I'm going to find somebody else and refinance your loan if you'd like to get paid back. And that conversation happened many times. And all we did was we were going to bring in another investor, right? So it was an easy solution. We gave ourselves ample time. But that investor, it was just the communication that they felt, oh my gosh, she's actually just being transparent with me about what's going on. And 100% of the time, they said, let's extend. People just want the truth. They want you to be honest. They want you to have integrity. They want you to do what you say you're going to do. And it's a win for everybody.
Everybody thinks they can over communicate.
Yes.
And if it makes you feel better, call it CYA. But over communicate. People just want to know what's going on. What's the plan? And you build trust when you tell the good, bad, and the ugly, but you just be direct about it, right?
That's right. It's low-hanging fruit, isn't it?
It is. Again, I get on this show and talk to amazing, smart people like yourself. And and then I talk about these things and I go, I haven't always been perfect at that either, but I've learned it. And it's like, it took longer than I wanted it to on some of these, but let me save you the headaches that I created for myself. Sticking down that entrepreneurial path that you've been in and reflecting on how many years are we into it?
Nearly 20.
Wow. 20 years. What would you tell yourself 18 years ago that you know now?
Avoid shiny object syndrome. I think as entrepreneurs, we love the thrill. We love the chase. And it's really easy when things get boring or repetitive to go, hey, look over there. When boring and repetitive is actually what takes you to true success.
It's not overspoken, Danny, and guilty as well. On that one at times. I've gotten better at it. It's kind of an entrepreneur's disease. I've gotten better, but it is sage advice. And some of the smartest people that I trust and listen to say the same thing. Fall in love with boring, repetitive things because it will make you a lot of money and save you a lot of heartache.
That's
and
right.
There's truth to it. It's just, but you do need to find that boring, repetitive thing that makes, money or adds value. But once you do, don't get to distraction, man, is the thievery of progress.
It is 100%. And I would say that I think when you graduate is when you have that team underneath you who can focus on the boring and repetitive stuff and master the skills while you get to look at the next thing and start researching and discovering what you want to do and what you want to build next.
Good point. And it's true. Like, don't move on until you've got a lot of coverage mastery and either team supporting what you've mastered, depending on what it is. I think what I've gotten better at, and I think this, I want to tee you up for this because I have a feeling just knowing, going back to the vertical integration, my favorite thing, finding ways to channel what your core mastery is into different things kind of within either the same vertical or, in alignment with those skill sets. Because where you get into trouble is the hard pivot that's maybe away from, for us being an agency, we had to market things, we had to do these things, and we had to create content, all that. So how can we take that mastery and maybe extend it into things that utilize that, but not go from, here to, I don't know, selling dogs or something. I don't complete left turns that have nothing to do with one another, staying in that lane a bit, right?
Yes. I'm going to answer this two ways, one with the fail and then one with the success. So the fail was when I vertically integrated. I was doing it for control because when we had a turnkey real estate business that we're scaling back right now, that business, in order for it to be successful, I needed to bring in acquisitions, bring in renovations, bring in property management, bring in a retail brokerage. That's how we started building so many companies. The fail, in my opinion, was not very passionate about those businesses. And some of those businesses are really, really hard. And it's hard to create raving fans because you're serving so many people in some of those. Then the success is going, okay, I really don't love these businesses. So why don't I scale those back? And then say, what am I good at? I'm really good at lead generation. And so I took lead generation for my real estate business and then created Oodles. And Oodles it's just a fun brand that does lead generation for home service businesses. And it took off. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. Okay, instead of vertically integrating because you have to, actually find what you're good at and build something that is similar and has alignment. And that's where you win.
Well, hey, lead generation is the lifeblood of every business. That's a great skill. That's one that can apply anywhere because, as you know, if you don't have leads, you don't have skin in the game. I mean, talk to me about Oodles. What made you good at that and what was the secret sauce?
Yeah, so it truly was lead generation. So we were in the real estate business. And so we had an acquisition company that was going and talking to sellers and bringing us deals. We built a huge cold calling team. We were just really, really good at it. And so somebody said to me, you're so good at that. What if you actually helped all the people that are in your renovations department, companies like that, your roofers, your HVAC, your plumbers? And I was like, hey, that's a great idea. So we did it. And in less than 6 months, we blew up. We started with roofing and just scaled like crazy. And it was literally me saying, I do this for me already. I can do 20 leads a day. I can do 50 leads a day, 100 leads a day. That's what I do for myself. Now I'm going to do it for you. Tell me what you need. Tell me how I can serve you. And it was that type of trust. They said, she's doing it here. She can, of course, do it for me here. And then what we've talked about, do what you say you're going to do. We attached some guarantees. We attached month-to-month contracts. We said, we're going to put our money where our mouth is because this is new, but test us out, see what you think. And we're doing fantastic.
What's a universal truth with lead generation that, I know you're not sitting here saying that it would work in any vertical, but I bet you there are some things that in wisdom, because anyone listening at any level can benefit from lead gen techniques and guidance. What are some key truths?
I think the number one truth is you don't need more leads. You need to stop wasting the ones you have, because the additional value that we're going to start supporting people with is taking advantage of the leads that are already in there, that already know, like, and trust you, or have heard from you once, or have seen you a few times, and actually nurturing those relationships so that you get called again. I think it's really about doing a great job with the audience that you have that's in front of you that already trusts you. I think that's number one. And number two, there's plenty of ways to build your lead machine. And even you and I started talking about that right before we started recording, about how I'm investing with people like yourself to say, hey, you do this really well, and I would like just another avenue to expose my companies to people that might be interested and then I can help.
Yep. Yeah. We'll go down that road. I mean, I'll say it for you, like content creation and sharing value. It's how you feed the top of the funnel these days. Like, it's in a world where, depending on what you sell, I mean, if you're local and you've got a retail foot store and all that, like, okay, there's some nuances to that. But in a world where your audience pool is the internet or a broader audience, you've got to attract that audience in. And it's not always, unfortunately, at the local chamber of commerce. I mean, that's great if you can rub shoulders and share your in-person brand with them. You're selling, you're sharing information and all those things. So you have to do that with content, and you can amplify it these days with the tools that we have, some free with social media, and even podcast delivery and things like that, because it's a way to share perspective, insight, all those things. People get to know you before you even have a conversation. And then, I mean, that's how you start to build that, know, like, trust before you even have your first conversation, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
You just perfectly aligned with exactly what I just said. It is that it's not always about getting the new leads. And so many people are like, I need more leads. I need more leads. I was like, what about the leads that are sitting right there? What about feeding them, nurturing them, delivering value, just like you said? And it compounds, right? That's really how you grow. That's really how you succeed.
I'll put one more little, just stamp on that for anyone listening. And this is a marketing and business show. That's called branding.
Yes.
It's the long game.
That's right.
And it doesn't always have to necessarily be years. I'm not saying that, but you have to create awareness, intent, and drive them. You can call it a purchase cycle, purchase funnel, whatever it might be. But people don't learn about you day one and buy from you day two. I mean, sometimes, but not as much as we think it does. And you've got to play that long game where you're building. It happens over time. And that's why some of the oldest brands in the world have built reputation over time and have consistency with that. But it's brand building in 2025. And it's never been a better time is the thing, because, again, the democratization of content distribution and amplification, it just, 15, 20 years ago, TV, radio, outdoor, print, stuff that was very expensive, unattainable, is now no longer in the way.
Yes. 100%. I think that a lot of people put marketing on a pedestal. And if you're just true and authentic and add value, the compounding efforts is what's going to win you the trust. And then you have to continue to earn it with the back end delivery.
Talk to me about real estate investing in 2025 for a passive investor. What's the lay of the land? What do you guys specialize in? What's the counsel you give to people that are thinking about that?
I'll go straight to passive investing, because I've seen the horror stories of active investing. And if you want to live the life that you deserve and you believe in and that you're dreaming about, you don't want another career and another job. Finding a team that you can invest in. I love multifamily. Multifamily it's economies of scale. So I've done single family, over 2,000 single family properties, and it's one property, one tenant, one roof. Whereas the multifamily is you've got one tenant that's not there. That's one vacancy out of 48, depending on how big the apartment is. And so I believe in economies of scale. I believe in diversification. I believe in passive income. I believe in not being confused. I think as Warren Buffett has this quote that I love: invest in something that you understand. And so many times you are talking to people and they're talking so over your head that you don't understand it. It gets complicated and you ultimately don't invest. And that hurts you. Nobody else but you, because now you're sitting on your money. It's losing value. And so I would say find a team that you can trust. Find a team that's doing something that you can, get behind in terms of who they are and that you align with, and let your money work for you while you get to live the life that, you dream of.
It reminds me a little bit. I always tied the American dream to, ownership. You were talking about multifamily and apartments and things like that, but like there's some truth to that, I think. And in a lot of levels, the ability to be able to afford to invest, is like that second step. Your biggest investment is typically your house. And then if you're doing and stable enough and you're making enough money where you're like, okay, I've got stocks and got retirement and things like that, but you're wanting to go, all right, the next phase of the American dream, having wealth, comfort, safety, freedom, and then the ability to invest to build wealth for yourself and your family. It's interesting as you think about real estate, because at least I've always felt this way. And I think this is kind of instilled in me. It's like over time, has there been proven to be anything more safe to invest in than real estate?
There's been so many studies. In fact, I wrote an article for Forbes, and that was the number one article, like stocks versus real estate. And I was just driving home the numbers and the historical track record. But, when I invest everything in real estate. Like that's how much I believe in where to put your money. It's also how much I believe in boring investing. Because so many times you can get emotional, right? So we find success in business by boring, repetitive tasks and mastery, right? You find success in investing the exact same way. Put your money somewhere you trust, somebody with a track record, somebody that you believe in, and leave it there, because over time it will turn into exactly what you want. And you didn't get emotional about, the stocks are up. The market's down. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to move it. Here's the new crypto. Here's the new, NFTs, whatever it is that they're, and those people end up not getting to where they want to go because they just keep on moving their money all the time. Whereas if you just set it and forget it with a team that you like, then I think that eighth wonder of the world, compounding.
It does bring me to this though, Danny. Like, talk to me, your perspective. I imagine you use it on some level, every successful business person. AI and technology, are you seeing and feeling the impact in your business?
I'm not feeling it yet. I think that the business that I'm in of wealth management and wealth building, they're still very, very old school. So I am getting ahead of the curve. I actually hired an AI team, and they're going into each of my businesses and telling me where they can add value the most. And I'm very focused on what brings the best ROI and what serves the people that I serve even better. And we talk about low-hanging fruit. We talk about that communication. How can I automate that? How can I make sure that I'm always making sure that I'm over-communicating to them? So we're using AI for sales and operations. That's what we're automating first. And we're, like I said, we're going to stay ahead of the game, and we're doing it in every single business. And I think you have to. The world's changing, and it's changing fast.
Yeah, it is. It's changing real fast. The things that if you aren't deploying it, you need to be looking at it, because it's too powerful to ignore. And I make the analogy, like whether you're an entrepreneur or you work for someone, AI is not coming for your job, but people that are using AI efficiently are coming for your job, and the ones that are mastering it are really coming for your job or your opportunities, because there's a speed and efficiency that comes with it. Call me naive. I'm not worried about robots taking over yet. I still think we have a human drive and humanity here. Yeah. It's just another tool. It's kind of like if you didn't use Google search 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's something really important for us all to keep in mind, because I think that is, for me, the fear is that people not using their brain. Like, we are the humans, right? There's something special about who we are and what we can create as humans. AI is a tool that's going to make us faster and is going to give us new ideas. But we have to incorporate the human element into that idea, I think, in order to be truly successful. And I think that people that are just going to solely rely on AI without using their natural talent, their superpowers, are not going to succeed to the level of people that are understanding this is a tool in my tool chest. This is not how I succeed. It's a part of why I succeed.
100%, because knowledge has gotten cheap.
Yes.
But creativity and your spin and your nuance and your ideas, the creativity around that is where you'll thrive. And I think that's exactly what you just described.
Yes.
And because I think just relying on it for the fast answers, your partner next to you, the buddy down the street, they can get those same answers too.
Exactly.
That's not the solution.
That's right.
And it does make me ask you this, Danny, like when I think about real estate and you think about the paperwork and the title work and the complexities and the lawyers and the doctors, I'm not throwing the doctors in there, not doctors, hopefully no, the doctor of real estate, Danny. but in all seriousness, is any of this technology and AI going to help like remove the friction that feels that I call it like in my business, there's like hairy transactions. Like it's like, like some things are just, hey, frictionless.
Yes.
But is that getting any better?
It is, little by little. There are some superstars that are rising to the top already that have been working on it for years in the real estate industry, and they are just now perfecting it. So it still has some issues. It still has some kinks that we're working through, but there's going to be some leaders in the space. And I think that's what's important about being an entrepreneur and taking advantage of AI. If you're on the front line and if you're really obsessing about how it can help you and help humanity and help how you deliver your product or service, it's going to change the game for you. And if you stay a step ahead of everybody else, it's unlimited as to where you can go.
As we close out, Danny, I want you to talk about this statement. She doesn't just teach strategy, she speaks transformation. When you stop trading time for money and start investing with intention, you finally become who you were meant to be. Talk to me about how you counsel people and, where that passion comes from.
Yeah. So I really believe in becoming the person that you're meant to be. And I believe that every person has a purpose here on earth and has a natural talent that if they tap into, it makes the world a better place. It makes our partnerships, our businesses, how we serve humanity a better place. And so when I talk about transformation and investing and using that money to invest with purpose, it's very much about stop trying to do things that you don't know how to do, that you're not the expert at. Take your money, put it somewhere where you're going to grow the wealth. You're going to be able to be successful. Whether or not your business succeeds, your money over here is working for you. And the power that gives you means you take care of you. You take care of your family. And then above and beyond that, you get to take care of all the things that you're so passionate about. And then you feel your purpose, right? You feel your power because you didn't chase something that was unachievable. You actually said, hey, I'm going to see what I'm really good at. I'm going to lean in towards joy. I'm going to have fun. And I'm going to also invest my money with other people doing the exact same thing so I can go down the road and give back to the world and just make this place just a better place for all of us to live in. And I think people are good. And I think people want that more than anything. So if we can encourage people to just chase their dreams, have fun, and do what they're meant to do, I think life gets a lot better for all of us.
100%. Hey, I like positive people. Like it's too much negativity in the world. It's like most people, there's a country song. It's called by my friend Luke Bryan. Most people are good, and that's what, I thought about while you're talking, like, don't forget that. Yeah, right.
That's right.
And, stick to what you know. And but you know what, if I was going to trust somebody with 20 grand, 50, Danny, you seem like the person I'd write that check for.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, that's the best compliment I can give you. Talk to me how people can work with you, what that looks like, what the opportunities are, things like that with Freedom Family Investments.
Absolutely. So they can connect with us at chatwithfreedom.com. And I tell everybody, every single phone call I've been on, I say, hey, start small. I want to earn your trust. I want you to experience the journey of earning money passively while you're doing something else actively that you love to do. So we have things like the liquidity fund that in 90 days, you could put your money back in, and in 90 days go, hey, I want to back out. Okay, great. You earned interest while that was just sitting there. And so it's just a way to test us out. And we have other things that are going to give higher interest that you can get tax benefits and all kinds of things. I tell everybody, understand your goals. And if you don't know what your goals are, we'll help you figure that out on the phone. And then ultimately look at the track record, look at the investor payout record, make sure you're aligning with the values of the company. Just get to know us. You don't have to invest with us. Just invest. Make your money work for you so you can live a better life and give back to the world. Amen.
What about us stunt flying risk takers? You got some high risk, high reward stuff?
We don't, because I don't believe in it.
All right. Just kidding. Danny, it's been a pleasure. Where can everybody find you? Website, social links, all that stuff.
Absolutely. So chatwithfreedom.com is the place to go. And on there, you're going to find all of my social media profiles because it's easier than figuring out how to spell Danny Lynn Robinson. But if you want to look me up and you spell that right, you'll find us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, all the channels.
Chat with Freedom.
Chatwithfreedom.com.
Chatwithfreedom.com. You can remember that. Go to that site. Check out Dani and her team. They're doing amazing things. You can tell she's an amazing person. Really appreciate you coming on, Dani.
Thank you so much, Ryan. It was a pleasure to be here.
Hey, guys, you know where to find us. RyanIsRight.com. You'll find highlight clips, how to spell Dani's name, find her on social media, and you'll find all of my social links at Ryan Alford. Got that blue check before you could buy it, baby. We'll see you next time on Right About Now.
This has been Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. Visit RyanIsRight.com for full audio and video versions of the show or to inquire about sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.
I think as entrepreneurs, we love the thrill. We love the chase. And it's really easy when things get boring or repetitive to go, hey, look over there. When boring and repetitive is actually what takes you to true success.
This is Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. We are the #1 business show on the planet with over 1 million downloads a month. Taking the BS out of business for over 6 years and over 400 episodes. You ready to start snapping necks and cashing checks? Well, it starts right about now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Right About Now. We're always talking about what matters now. We can talk about last week. We can talk about last year. We can talk about 3 years from now. We're not here to tell the future. We're here to advance your now. That's why we've got Danny Lynn Robinson. She is the founder of Freedom Family Investments. I will get that out. Lots